Let us then start with proposal number 377, which establishes a study commission to evaluate intellectual and developmental disability service providers and funding allocations in Marion County. Councilor Nielsen.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone, members of the Rules and Public Policy Committee. I'll be quick. As the President stated, Proposal 377 establishes a study commission to evaluate intellectual and developmental disability service providers and funding allocations in Marion County. For background, the Council and the City have been supporting the work of an IDD service provider since 1966 through a public purpose grant. This long-standing commitment and strong partnership has helped to provide low-barrier services that otherwise may not have been provided, especially to children. In recent years, there's been attention placed on this public purpose grant and an interest in further evaluation on the funding source, which is in line with good public policy. But we should avoid any abrupt changes that could cause disruptions in services on individuals, children, and families with a loved one with an IDD. Chairman Barth, who I know is here tonight, and I, with the support of President Osley, have been working with experts and providers on the best way to go about this process in a public and transparent way that ensures any potential changes do not adversely impact individuals and families receiving services. The proposal before Unite members is the product of that engagement and work. Proposal 377 recognizes that the Council needs some more information and perspective from experts in this incredibly complicated field and from those with actual lived experience. The Commission will be tasked with considering a number of variables in its study and creation of any potential recommendations. I'll point you to Section 3 of the proposal, with, again, a particular focus on evaluating and leveraging the current levy that funds these services. The Commission will be Councilor-led, but includes experts, industry professionals, and those with lived experience. And the Commission will be tasked with producing a report by the June 9th, 2025 meeting of the full Council to help align with any budgetary changes. I want to thank Councilor Barth and President Osley for their support and engagement on this issue over the past several months, and I ask for your support this evening on Proposal 377. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Nielsen. Are there comments, questions on proposal number 377? Councilor Barth, Chairman Barth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to thank you and for your support, and Councilor Nielsen for his hard work on this. This issue is personal to me, as I have a brother with Down syndrome, and I've worked my entire career in the Medicaid space, and often in conjunction and partnership with and on behalf of people with disabilities and intellectual disabilities around healthcare. And looking at this issue and thinking it through very carefully, meaning what can we do from a policy perspective to really think hard about how we allocate these resources to get the best benefit for the city, but most importantly for people with IDD in Marion County. It really needs a thoughtful, careful process. So I really appreciate Councilor Nielsen's careful process of going through and putting this together very carefully. As we worked through this, we took the opportunity to speak with a lot of people in the IDD world, including the ARC of Indiana, and notably the Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, which is in Bloomington and is the center at IU that really focuses on policy related to people with disabilities, not only in Indiana but across the nation. And some of the feedback we got from them, this was the first time they've seen a city or county really dig into this issue and take it with the seriousness that it deserves, and apply a lot of thoughtfulness and careful consideration to how we apply these funds going forward. So I think it's a big opportunity for us in Indianapolis and Marion County.
Really? You think so?
Something positive that I think could potentially be a model for the rest of the state and possibly the country. So thanks very much for your time, and I appreciate your support.
So very interesting, because do you know who John Barth works for? Well, let's check out his LinkedIn with the pronouns he, him. He's the Vice President of Business Development for Molina Healthcare. And you're probably wondering, well, who is Molina Healthcare? Well, they are a Fortune 500 company that is focused exclusively on government-sponsored healthcare programs for families and individuals who qualify for government-sponsored healthcare. How convenient that Andy Nielsen, who has a policy background, has now teamed up with John Barth to say, "Oh, let's see how good we can get if we can get things better for government healthcare." For the guy who is the vice president of business development for a Fortune 500 company that exclusively on government-sponsored health care. Handshakes and hand jobs. And when did he start? 2023. March of 2023. How convenient that when he comes up to his second term, which we knew that no one was going to run against him, because there's no way for anybody to beat him because he has like Butler area and is super fucking blue over there, that now all of a sudden he got this great cushy job working at Molina Healthcare. Absolutely disgusting. Don't ever trust these people. There's always some kind of background reason of why they're pushing for this stuff.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Leader Mowry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm very much so in support of this proposal. I just had a question on, is there I would imagine with this type of proposal, we're studying, how the dollars are being spent and where they're going, that organizations may come out that have not previously received funding. Is there an opportunity for those organizations to then receive funding or to be considered for future funding?
Councilor Nielsen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Leader Mowry. Just the first part of that, you'll notice in your agenda packet this evening letters from a number of service providers that do work in our city. But I think the long and short is yes, possibly. I think that's the entire point. This is incredibly complicated, and I really appreciate that as getting into the weeds of this issue. I think that this forum provides the best opportunity to think about and make some clear policy recommendations should they be necessary to the full council.
Thank you. I'm not familiar with all the organizations that do this type of work, but I would want to make sure that if there are organizations that we're not currently partnered with, that they could have the opportunity to come forward as well. Thank you.
Very good. Additional questions or comments from council? Right? Hearing none. Is there anyone in the room with an interest in proposal number 377? Hearing none.
No, because no one cares.
Madam Clerk.